The entire world want to know what's happening in South Africa. We're going to try in our best of our ability to tell you what we have as data. I think we're going to try to be as accurate as possible. If we understand, we'll say we understand. If we don't understand, we'll clearly state that we do not understand this context of the situation. Okay. But I think we all have brains. We can see and have a little bit of a level of common sense to pull out what actually makes sense or not. Okay. We know there's been xenophobia uproar across South Africa in many places. People being beat up bad, not nice. So what's happening right now? It is alleged that African kids are being kicked out of schools by Black South Africans. It is alleged. Yeah. I think that you understood that African kids, meaning black kids from other African nationals that live in South Africa, are being kicked out of schools by Black South Africans. And I know, again, South Africans don't like it when you say Black South Africans. Well, for context, a lot of people in Africa will say Black South Africans because white South Africans don't go to schools kicking kids out of school or trying to find a seller in a corner trying to get him to stop selling. So that's why a lot of Africans feel like it's more Black South African than anybody else. So let's watch some of these videos and we can make a comment on top of it. Okay, let's go. Let me stop right there. Okay, what we're seeing here looks like parents going to fetch their children, and the children in this case, if this video is accurate, would be kids from foreign Africans being kicked out of school. And you notice there are police, so the police is probably there to avoid any drama, you know, people coming to hand and beating each other up. So that's perhaps the cleanest way it can be done. The kids are still being kicked out, but the police is supervising, making sure nobody get hurt. Okay. Now listen to this. So, Fusek, kwere, Fusek. Fusek is a very typical South African way of chasing a dog. Okay, you chase a dog, Fusek. That's how you chase a dog. So, Fusek is actually Afrikaans, by an Afrikaner. That's what Afrikaans did to the dog, and also did to some people, you know, back in the past. So it has been copied, and now it is done. It's routine. Fusek is like get the F out of them, you know. So kwere is what they describe a foreigner from an African country. So kwere is what? Kwere is supposedly the way you sound when they don't understand your language. So when you speak in your language and I can listen and hear you, but I don't understand what you're saying, you sound like you're saying kwere. You sound kwere in my ears. But the contrast is anybody can sound kwere to another person who doesn't understand the language. So Fusek kwere, I think you can put it together. So host kwere. Well, what you can see here, it's children. Okay, so I think the trauma will remain with them. There's no doubt about that. So, I mean, as a child, can you forget this? Being said Fusek like a dog? Fusek, kwere, Fusek. I mean, look at this lady. Let me go back to this lady in red in the beginning. Okay? You can look at the lady in red. Look at the lady in red. Do you think those kids will ever forget that lady? who goes, I mean, you know, you can be right and do wrong while you write. Okay, while your objective, your goals, your initial plan is actually doing good for your country, you can end up doing wrong things while you're doing the right things, and it annihilates the good things you're actually trying to do. But what you notice also here is what you see that it's men coming to fetch their children. Okay. Now, again, this is what's going through social media right now, and we're going to bring it to you. Okay, let's go to the next video.
Nasi isikolo esiyasivala isikolo samagweja selection morning commanders high discipline isikolo eselection kwi-RDP sifuna uyazi na uCity of Cape Town uyayazi ngoba kunesikolo kwi-RDP yakhe futhi sifuna uDepartment of Education ayazi ba kunesikolo nangu principal is a principal of the school, he's a teacher of everything, he's benefiting in South Africa. Operation Dudula chase them out. They must go. Mabahambe leaders, mabahambe. They coming to do business. Yabo apa election. Nasi iskolo siyabakhupha from Operation Dudula naba. We chase them out. They also have mattresses in the room, in the RTP, the PCTV, in the walls. We don't know what is going on here.
So as you can see, the place is being emptied. You know, the man who's supposed to be the principal, very afraid. They're taking everything from the premise that supposedly host Kwere children, and they are doing their business in our neighborhood. This is our personal. They shouldn't be doing their business over there. So they must leave. Let's move to the next video.
Nobody's building a league in Zimbabwe. There are musicians, the likes of Nadia Nakai. We don't want Nadia Nakai to represent us. She must go back and to her country and represent her Zimbabwean people. We have got enough talented South Africans, and we don't want to shine ka talent ya batho ba bang. We want to produce our own talented musicians and artists. We don't want them in the entertainment industry. The likes of Shasha, they are here speaking local languages, pretending to be South Africans.
So, as you would imagine, I think you understand what she's saying in the context. Sometimes people come from a different country, or perhaps they have one of the parents that's from a different country. Then they go to a different country because they have talent. Anyway, let me not listen to this lady.
Are you guys angry about cheap foreign labor being used in place of South Africans? Or are you angry that people are just foreign? Because what? Unadia Nakai no Shasha bangenapi. Now we're coming for rappers and singers. No, guys, please. I thought we were angry at the fact that corporations, people at the top, including government officials, benefit from cheap foreign labor, which causes high unemployment in South Africa. In the video, she speaks about how we have our own talent in South Africa, and Nadia Nakai and Shasha do not represent South Africans, but nobody said they did. South Africa is literally the capital of entertainment on the African continent. So, of course, people are gonna come here to make it big. I mean, even South African artists travel globally or move out of the country, like Black Coffee, Tyler, Elaine. They travel across the country in order to pursue a music career or to grow their audience. It's normal. Even when it comes to football, so many of our footballers have been signed by overseas teams. So I just feel like, what is being fought for here? Because now, Senfagabo Nadia Nakai, Abo Shasha, it's getting ridiculous, and it's not solving the problem, which the problem is the people at the top who are benefiting from this cheap foreign labor.
Well, it's interesting because the lady says, we know that, she said Nadia Nakai should go back to her country and go represent her country. I believe Nadia Nakai is one of the parents is Zimbabwean. The other one is South African. And that Nadia Nakai shouldn't represent South Africa because she's a rapper, I believe, in South Africa. Now, this is beginning to sound a little bit like, you know, back in time when they were looking for Jews, okay? We know you, you're a Jew, you're not from here, you're a Jew. Yeah. Very similar to what's happening in Rwanda as well. We know you, you are not Hutu, you are Tutsi. Your space is not here. Now, surely there's no weapons, there's no pangas and machetes being used, but very slowly. Like the lady said, was it an economical thing? Was it because big companies and corporate are hiring foreigners? Or is it about rappers that shouldn't be here, they should go back to their countries because South Africa has a lot of talent, which is obvious. Let's go to the next one.
Now, Operation Dodula plans to stop children of foreign nationals from attending public schools. Education activists are condemning this move, though, which is the group being accused of xenophobia, saying the country needs to put its citizens first. It's been warned that its actions are unconstitutional and illegal.
We want to prioritize our own South Africans more than anything. It cannot be correct that you have a South African child who will be admitted at a school further than their home, of a school of preference, because we have non-South Africans who are occupying those seats. Now, yes, the Constitution does say that every child has a right to education, but again, we are misinterpreting the Constitution. This talks about children that are actually South Africans and not of foreigners. Now, this Constitution was drafted because of the people of South Africa prior apartheid. There was exclusion of black, colored, and Indians. But after that, because of the inclusion and diversity, that's when it talks about everyone who lives in it. So when we talk about these children, it's not children of foreign nationals, but it's children of South Africa that needs to be prioritized.
Okay, so she says, the justification is that the schools are super occupied because foreign kids are seated, okay? And in the meantime, black South African kids sometimes have to be allocated to a very far away school because the school nearby are all full. Does she have a point? Okay, and I want you to tell me about this. Do you think it makes sense to say, you know what, we as locals, because we belong here, we should be first to be served in this area, and you guys should go far away? Now, the other question is, when we go far away, what if the people from far away also say we shouldn't have our children here because then they have to go far away, and then we go far away again, and the people from the second far away say also you shouldn't be here because you see where I'm going. Let me know how you feel about that.
Njoba bephethe oshavula abangangobhanana abavukelwa bese bezofundisa amantombazana akithi ukuthi kukhothwa into ongafanele ikhothwe enento yakhona okufanele ingene khona bese kuthiwa wena uyindoda. Indoda kayiguqi indoda iguqa endaweni eziwu-2 kuphela, iguqa mhla ixolisa, iguqe phambi kwenkosi, ayiguqele enye into indoda. Bese kuthiwa kufundiswa amadoda ukuthi awaguqe, amadoda aguqe angene endaweni la kuphuma khona wonke udoti ophethe umzimba, kuthiwa indoda ayizongena khona. Bese lithi nina amakhwekhwela nothando, kanti ingoba nina qobo imizimba yenu ayisasebenzi, nifuna ukumunqwa njengengcenye. Asizukuyenza-ke thina lento fuseka.
Okay, I think I'm not going to give an interpretation to what it say. I think I'm going to get somebody. Okay, we got locals to explain what these gentlemen are saying. This is what the lady says. She is a South African woman. She says, they are saying foreign nationals have big D and that they have changed the woman and made them to suck D during X. They are saying foreign national come to SA single, but very quickly find women, and those women are their sisters. Foreign national F them, they F our sisters with a big egg that looks like bananas. Okay, I'm gonna find another one. Okay, this is another lady named Tandega. She says they are saying the foreign national take their women and teach them how to suck dick, and I can't say the result, but it is pure hate from them. So she doesn't want to give more details. And another one send an audio.
So it's saying foreigners came to the country, and then now they're sleeping with their sisters, and now they're making their sisters to suck dick and put dick inside the ass, which is that the holes are not meant for that. Yeah, something like that.
So the hole is not made for that. Now, as you can see, the goal can be a very good goal, a very good objective. Trying to clean up the country, make sure the country is good. Service delivery is offered. You know, everything is good. Kids go to school. Things are smooth. Hospitals and things are available for the people. But very slowly, due to a few people, completely transform what could have been, would have been something very ethical to something completely out of hand.
8-year-old Paul Alves started the 2nd grade earlier this year, but he's been kicked out of school. His father, Fernando, is from Mozambique and has worked here for more than 20 years. Paul was born in South Africa, but doesn't have a birth certificate.
When I asked why he was chased out of the school, they said he does not have the right documents. They said that he is not the only child. Many others have also been sent home.
Families here send their children to local schools, which require a birth certificate, a study visa, and a residency permit.
Okay, so Mozambique, as you can see on the map, is not South Africa. Now, can South Africans say you can't come to our school because you don't have a birth certificate, even though you were born here? Okay, so you were born in South Africa, but your child doesn't have a birth. Being born in South Africa doesn't necessarily allow you a birth certificate from South Africa. Is that xenophobia? I don't know. Can South Africans say, go back to Mozambique? How about you go back to Mozambique? Mozambique is not at war. There's no war in Mozambique. You can have a life. You won't have to complain. This is your country right here. Is that bad to say? I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that.
We will not tolerate violence and acts of lawlessness.
Also seen a television station covering this scene. Who is giving this order behind the same South Africa? That's my question for you guys. See my next video. Call this in.
Interesting, very interesting. Mr. Ramaphosa, the president that I respect a lot, has urged people not to bother foreigners. But this gentleman, I believe he's from Nigeria, says, who's giving orders? Like, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Let me know.
You can't make South Africa a solution to countries having problems. South Africa is a country that has to take care of its own problems. South Africa is a country that currently has the highest unemployment rates in the world. You can't say because 50,000 people in Congo or wherever are having problems with their government, we become the home to those people. Where are these people going to be living? That's where we have squatter camps and informal settlements. Where they're going to school, those same schools that our children are not getting spots in. Where are they going to be getting healthcare? In those same hospitals where our grannies now have to wait for hours and hours in queues and sleep on beds and sleep on the floor instead of sleeping on beds and giving birth every 5 minutes. We can't have a system that allows refugees to just come. Everyone can be a refugee in this country. We are not a country that has enough resources to take care of its own people. How are we now extending an olive branch to everyone in the world to say, come in? Yes, South Africa signed some United Nations treaties years ago, but everything can be reviewed looking at the current situation. We don't have a cap on the number of refugees that we can have. In the UK and other places, they say limited to 10,000 people. Why are we the only country where there's an unlimited number of refugees that can just walk in? Will we have a future for this country? Where are our children going?
Before this man make a comment, which I think is very interesting. He's probably South African too, but usually, people like him, like this man, identify as colored, and colored are not black as per South African identification. I mean, if you don't know, back in time during apartheid, you had white on top of the chain, followed by Indians, and then colored and black at the bottom. They didn't have the same rights, okay? So the top having the most right and the bottom having the least right. So this is a colored man of South Africa making a comment on top of the lady that just spoke.
Valid points asked. I will state this, and it's something that you need to think about. We have a country that has open borders. We allow anybody to come in here. They come in here, they commit crime, and at the end of the day, the South African people have to suffer for the bad decisions that the government has made. The experiment did not work, and it's backfiring on the South African people and not the South African government. Have a fantastic day. God bless.
Okay, so I know a lot of Africans feel like brotherhood is about skin color, okay? My brother from Ghana, my brother from Uganda. Well, what you'll notice is for a lot of South Africans, not all, a lot of South Africans, their brotherhood has nothing to do with that. It's not because you're black that you're necessarily their brother, okay? There may be more brothers with the white fella of South Africa than you as a black fella from Tanzania. A lot, not every, but a lot. So there's more loyalty toward that. So that's where you understand. I'd rather have my white person here who's been here through apartheid with me than have you from Tanzania. Even though both of you, as Africans, you could say that, have been through colonialism. Let's go to the next video. This video is about people in Cape Town trying to create their own country. Watch it.
An independent Cape will have the exact same immigration policies as any democracy around the world. We will allow anyone to become a citizen of the Cape of Good Hope if they don't have a criminal record, if they have skills that they're going to bring to our country, if they're going to bring value to the citizens of our country. So there's not going to be any hard border in which some people are allowed, other people aren't, just like any country around the world. However, every country around the world needs to have borders which ensure that the resources within that country are not taken advantage of by illegal immigrants. So how do we deal with that issue? Well, it's very simple. Currently, the reason we have such an influx of people from other parts of South Africa...
Okay, fellas, I don't know how you feel about this. I want to know how you feel about this. But before we finish, I want us to watch this video. This is how we're going to finish today.
Xenophobia is too much in South Africa, so we need to fight for the rights of all migrants. They must have rights in South Africa. They must be documented with the government. We need to help these migrants because police are taking advantage for the migrants, as well as those merchant Dudula. They're also taking advantage for the migrants.
Okay, so not all South Africans want you out, okay? You must keep that in mind. There are some South Africans that don't want this. Actually, most of South Africans don't want this. Most South Africans, even though they're not vocal, do not want this to happen, okay? And some of them are marching in the streets also opposing this trend. So do not be fooled by thinking that all South Africans are xenophobic. It's not truth. Some of the South Africans that I have personally met are some of the best people I've met in my entire life. Okay, so you cannot judge the United States of America entirely with the behavior of a few people from the hood. Okay, let's watch this.
I think the attack on immigrants at the moment is also an attempt to make South Africans look away from the things that are standing in the way of delivery of what everybody needs.
Today, we are here to remind our hosting countries who's been having mixed feelings but tolerant to some extent that Africa, we are all going through problems and there are also other issues just to do with push and pull factors.
It is actually to express our denouncement of the xenophobic drift in the country. There's a right-wing populist drift to blame every problem we have on the migrants, from the mass unemployment to the crumbling services, healthcare, education. The fact of the matter is, it is outrageous to say that just about 5% of the population are responsible for 12.4 million unemployed people in this country.
Just so you know, there are a lot of good people in South Africa who are standing against these xenophobic attacks on the African people. Yes, there are loads of them, but the media is not going to show you that.
Let me know how you feel about this. The media is going to show you them. It was a great pleasure. God bless.